Welcome everybody to another episode of 80s and 90s Rewind the Times. Show all 80s, 90s, and Batman and everything under the sun. Today I wanted to talk about a movie that I went and saw last night. I've been waiting for this movie to come out. It feels like forever. Um, Last 2 years, this movie's had so many delays and so many delays that when I saw that it was coming out on April 1st, I thought maybe it was a joke. But no, it came out. And this movie has been getting a lot of bad reviews. And one thing about me is I never really follow. I'm not a movie critic, so I do the best I can when I do describe movies and stuff because everybody's taste is different. What I may like is it may be completely different from what you like. But last night I seen Morbius, and obviously I'm a big superhero fan. I love DC, but I still like Marvel. Right now Marvel's doing such a good job, and Kevin Feige and the way they're doing, they're interlocked and everything. I feel like DC is behind, but there's a lot of good movies coming up this year for DC, and at the end of this year and next year, where I think DC is gonna be up there. It's gonna play, is definitely their movies are starting to get better. So last night I seen Morbius, the living vampire, played with Jared Leto and Matt Smith playing Milo. This was a really good movie. Like I said, I've been hearing a lot of bad things about it, and that never persuades me away from not seeing it. Because, like I said, I don't go by what people say. But Leto's performance was amazing. Not amazing. Let me see. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say amazing. It was really good. Really, really good. The plot was really good. I thought it was really, really good. The movie goes by kind of quick. But the action scenes, I love the action scene. And people were crapping on the CGI. And I thought the CGI was so good. The way he uses his echo. He has like this echo sonar that he uses with his ears, where he can like send it out and it comes back to him where he can hear it. That's how he like locates things, which I thought was really cool. And you can see when he does it in his ear how it moves around where he can like he sends it out with his ear and it comes back. I thought that was so cool how he can fly. And there was a struggle with the character because he is Dr. Michael Morbius and he is a good guy, but obviously he has the thirst for blood and he tries to consume his thirst with this fake blue blood, but what it is the more times he uses it, the less. And like I'll give you an example. If he takes takes like a pint of it, and it'll only keep him good for like 6 hours, and the next time he may use it only be 4 hours. So he really needs real blood, the thirst of real blood. It will consume him. It'll quench his thirst a lot longer. I'm trying to say. The character developments I thought on both these guys were really good. Matt Smith was amazing. He was amazing. I will say about that when he really embraced the role of this villain, and you can tell he's having a blast with this role. Like I looked over at my girlfriend, and I'm like, I like him. He really embraces the dark side of the character, the dark side of becoming a vampire. But the action scenes are really, really cool. The way that he flies through the subway, and that first scene where he's on the boat, and obviously this is a spoiler review. And he flies and he kills the people. Man, it is really cool the way he does it, the way he slows down. People insulted the CGI. I thought the CGI was great. Even Leto's face, everything was great. I do mean great. I thought it was a good movie. A really, really good movie. I would compare it to the Venom movies. If I had to rank between, I in my mind, because this movie does take place in the Venom world. It is the Venom. They make a lot of hints towards Venom in it. Um, there are a lot of scenes that I didn't like that were in the trailers that were taken out, unfortunately, in this movie. But there are still some left in. Um, and Adrian Toomes, who we saw the Vulture, he is in the movie. But there are two post-credit scenes, and he is in both of them. And you can tell they're building up for something. They're building up for the Sinister Six. You can tell, no doubt. Um, I just man, like the killing scenes are really cool, and the way he moves and he flies, and the CGI on it, it's really interesting. I like it a lot. Like I said, man, I thought the plot was a pretty good plot. There was at times where it did slow down, then it picked up, and then it slowed down, then it picked up. The movie does have a very fast pace. It does go pretty quick. Um, but the character development, Michael, Jared Leto, I believe he's a method actor, so he really embraces these roles. And I was reading about him and listening to what he was saying, how he has this blood disease, this rare blood disease in his body, it really like withers away at his body, and you can see like he lost a lot of weight, and then all of a sudden he you know when he has the blood venom and the blood, the bat DNA in him, he looks jacked, dude. They lifted weights, and I mean he did a really good job, and like I said, Matt Smith, who plays Milo, dude, I love his character. I love his accent. I believe he's from Doctor Who. I love his accent, and when he becomes this bad version of the vampire, because basically the story is these two boys that are living in a hospital, and they both have the rare blood disorder, and they kind of make a hint towards X-Men, which is pretty cool. One of the guy Jarrett, I can't think of his name, but the guy that looks over Milo, he kind of makes a comment to Michael Morbius saying, "You're too gifted for this. You're too special for this." And there's a place in New York. For gifted children, and that's for X-Men. So I thought that was pretty cool. Little Easter egg there, which I thought was pretty interesting. Um, but basically, these two lifetime friends grow up together, and Michael Morbius is amazingly, he's so smart, and he wants to cure himself, and by him curing himself, he cures his best friend. But when he cures himself, he realizes there is a bad side to it, and it's hard. It's a struggle between good and evil. You know, you want to do the right thing by healing people, but unfortunately, by giving yourself this curse, you have to quench it by killing people. You need blood, and he battles with himself in the movie. And Milo, when he does become, because Michael Morbius doesn't want to give him the serum right away, and to help him out. And Milo's like, why? He's like, well, it's not fair that you get to choose to live and I get to choose to die. And he's like, this is not a choice. This is a curse. And it's so cool when you find out when Milo has it. It's almost like, honestly, from the scene in the movie when he does take the serum and he takes it, Milo, becoming the vampire. From there on, it's a fun ride. It really is a fun ride because his interpretation and the way he becomes the bad guy, and you can just tell he's enjoying it. He's loving it. It must have been fun filming those scenes, and you can really see it through his portrayal of Milo, that he's having a blast, and it's a fun ride. It's a real fun ride with him, and he embraces it because as children they used to get picked on all the time, and there's actually a scene where Milo gets beat up as a child, and so when he becomes a vampire, he's like, nah, I'm embracing the evil, and screw this, man, I'm gonna attack people like they used to attack me. And he's enjoying eating people. He's eating on them, quenching their thirst and killing them and stuff. So there's a little bit of a love story too in it, which is really nice. So I think the love story keeps the movie a little bit grounded. But the CGI effects and overall plot is pretty good. Like I said, there are scenes where the action scenes are so cool, and then all of a sudden the movie will drag for a little bit, and then it'll pick up again, and then it'll drag a little bit and pick up again. I just wish it had a nice continuous flow. But still, the movie is really, really good. I wouldn't really listen to the critics so much. I'd go out and I'd form my own opinion if I was you. If I had to rank it out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 3.5. I'm definitely gonna buy it when it comes out. And if I had to compare it to anything, like I said, it is like the Venom movies, which makes sense because Sony does make those movies too. So with Venom being out, and now Morbius, and then Venom 2, if I had to rank them in order, I'd say Venom, definitely, 1. Morbius, 2 on my list, and then Venom, Let There Be Carnage, number 3. So in my opinion, it's definitely worth going out and seeing it one time, definitely. I want to see it again. I like it that much, but I like movies like this. So, so that's why I said my opinion may be different from other people's. So it's definitely a good ride. I think you can enjoy Leto. His acting was really good in it. Matt Smith acting, I think, is a little bit better, just because he's really, and it's not that Leto's not embracing the character, because he really is. It just seems like Matt Smith's Milo, the bad guy, is just really embracing that dark side of that vampire, and it's just so cool. And the fighting scenes and the CGI, that scene on the boat in the beginning, that first scene, man, it's just so cool. It really is cool. You know what I mean? If the movie could stay at that tone the whole movie, the movie would be, I think the movie, it would be like a 4.5. It'd be that good. I think, in my opinion, it'd be that good. But because the other scenes are not as good as that first scene, I give it a 3.5. But I think you're really gonna enjoy it. The CGI is really good. I think the CGI is really good. People crapped on it, but I think it really is good. So I'd give it a try and enjoy the living vampire of Michael Morbius. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think that there'll definitely be a sequel, and especially the way the post credit scenes. There are two of them, mid credit scenes. I think they're setting up. They are setting up obviously more in this world of Morbius. And what I would do is, if I was Sony, I'd put Garfield in it. I'd make it either Andrew Garfield or introduce Miles Morales. That's what I would do. But I would like to see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man fight in this. I think I want to see a Spider-Man in this. I think it'd be really cool. I could see a good battle between Morbius and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I think that'd be an awesome. I think it'd be an awesome movie to see both of them in it. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Hope everybody has a blessed day today. Remember, God first and family, and hope everybody enjoys their weekend coming up, and everyone takes care of each other. So, till the next video, peace. Take care of yourself.